Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. More with our coverage of the upcoming November elections. We are talking to the candidates and some of the contested races. And my next guest this morning, who's in the studio with me this morning, one of the candidates running for mayor of Bloomfield, John Mohler, is here with me this morning. Good morning. Thanks for coming over.
Good morning, Scott. Nice to be here. Thanks for the invite.
You bet. Good to have you here to talk about your campaign. And I guess let's start about your connections to the city of Bloomfield, which are numerous and lengthy. Talk a little bit about your service to the city.
Okay, so born and raised in Bloomfield. My family's been there since it was established. I started volunteering with the fire department in '95, as soon as I could at 16.
Okay.
Volunteered there until we got paid staff, and I was one of the first ones hired. So worked all the way up to fire chief there in Bloomfield, and then over at the county I was fire chief for several years. So born and raised, dedicated for Bloomfield for sure.
Very good. Everyone's figuring out how old you are when you were 16, figuring that out.
47, I think.
Okay, well, that's all right. There you go. And so now you're running for mayor, and tell us a little bit about that decision.
So it's always been a goal of mine to try to help Bloomfield as much as I can. I mean, that's the whole point of being in the fire service and public service as a whole. Mm-hmm. Just commitment to the town and trying to do everything you can to make it a better place. Make it good for my family, your family, my parents, right? Make sure everything's as best as it could be.
Okay. And that was the reason that you decided to run for mayor?
Yep. So I always wanted to run for mayor just to keep giving. Couldn't do that when you're in public service, right? So I had to wait till I retired a couple years ago. And I think everything's going pretty good. I'm good friends with the current mayor. But I just, being from the fire service, I always want to try to take it to the next level and try to improve where I can and what I can.
Gotcha. So tell us about those areas. What are some of the areas you'd like to see improved in the city of Bloomfield if you were to become mayor?
Right. So economic development is always one of the big talking points. Bloomfield's fairly strong, but a lot of the businesses, a lot of the oil field, everybody left. So there's a gap there. We don't have the funding that we need because, municipalities, almost all the funding comes from gross receipts. So
right.
We need to try to get some more businesses in, whatever that may be.
Okay.
And diversify. We support energy in Bloomfield. We've always been an energy area, but if there's anything else we can get, I'll obviously still support that, but try to diversify and bring anything else we can in. Mm-hmm. Another key point is the parks. I'd like to beautify the parks and have some newer playground equipment for my kids, grandkids. Some of the swing sets I know are the same ones that were there when I was a kid. So, and a lot of the stuff was already there whenever my oldest daughter was going to the park. So just updating that and try to make it more attractive for young families, starting families, get people to come into town.
Gotcha.
Or stay.
Right. Those things cost money, of course, and that then goes back to that economic development part of what you were talking about, correct? And that's how you can pay for some of those things.
That's the first point. Yep. Got to get those and balance everything.
Right.
Keep the budget balanced. Find additional funding outside.
Right.
Grants or federal, state, whatever we can to help supplement all that.
Understood. One of the big stories, I guess, of the last year might be the sand plant in Bloomfield and some of the things that were around that decision and how that's going. What are your thoughts about that particular project, and would you look for other projects like that, or what would you say?
So that just fell there. That specific company purchased the property. There was some controversy in whether or not it should be allowed, but that really wasn't a decision for the city. We were just looking at, was that property able to be zone changed?
Right.
Not all the other details that were such the controversy. That's more state and federal regulations that we didn't have a lot of say on.
Sure. Okay.
But again, that's an energy, and it created 20 plus jobs locally. So.
Right. You're okay with that? I mean, you're okay with that. I mean, that's an economic development project,
It is economic development, yeah.
Okay.
I know a lot of the neighbors weren't excited about it, but they were already next to an industrial area that was just as bad or in the complaint department as that one, so it is what it is.
Gotcha.
And it's supported, like I said, 20 new jobs here local that re-employed some of the people from the mine that had recently lost their job.
Right.
So
You see it as a positive?
I do see it as a positive.
Okay, fair enough. I want to move on and ask you a little bit also about some other projects that are coming in. We talked about that with one of your opponents, too. There's restaurants, McDonald's coming to the city of Bloomfield, and I know a lot of folks maybe watch that, at least maybe not that they enjoy McDonald's, but that it's a national chain, maybe a local franchisee who's deciding to invest in Bloomfield. That seems to be a positive thing as well, or how do you feel about stuff like that?
Every restaurant that comes to town, that's one of the biggest things I hear around town is we don't have enough restaurants. And then people passing through, they're going to look more at national chains they're familiar with. They're going to stop there and grab an extra bite on their way through, or whenever there's events in town, people from out of town that come to visit, they're going to go to the national chains they recognize.
Right.
But with that, all the other national chains are going to watch the numbers. If that McDonald's is doing good, if our Burger King and Dairy Queen are doing good, they share all those numbers, so maybe we'll get a Taco Bell next. Maybe we'll get the next restaurant, Denny's, whatever. Just
sure.
Watching those numbers and supporting whatever is in Bloomfield is the best we can do
right.
to bring more.
Sounds like you're saying not necessarily just national chains, but the mom and pop stores and restaurants too?
Small business is very important to Bloomfield. I always try to spend local as much as I can and support them. Everything in Bloomfield that has been there and supported our community, we got to get back and support all them equally.
Gotcha. What are some of the other projects that you see are needed in the city of Bloomfield? What are some of the things that you'd like to see happen if you could afford it, if you had, a magic wand, all those different questions from a reporter? What would you like to see?
Magic wand.
Yeah,
that
right.
would be awesome.
Yeah.
Just all of the streets. It seems like there's cracks and potholes everywhere you go. And there just hasn't been enough funding for personnel and the materials to repair all the roads. If we could just have all brand new streets, all brand new pipes in the ground, that would make everything flow so much smoother. Literally flow in water and sewer,
right.
flowing where they need to go, and
sure.
And then traffic flowing through. If there wasn't potholes and cracks and so much damages, that would be the first things to fix for sure.
Sure. Now, obviously, you don't have a magic wand or as much money as maybe you would like to do this all at one time, but you can do little bits and pieces, right, and have some kind of a replacement schedule for some of these things.
Right. So I know there has been replacement schedules. Whether we're following it exactly or not, it's hard to say. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of plans for certain roads to be redone, but that takes so much money. Everything's so expensive nowadays. Repaving an entire street's millions of dollars at this point. So we are focused on that and trying as we speak, but we have to try harder and do better to do some of the preventative maintenance. I think we could fund some of that, some of the crack sealing, so that the cracks don't get so bad they turn into huge potholes. I think we could fund some of that if we just tried a little harder and, again, take that step up and do a little bit better than we are.
Right. Got you. Other things that you'd like the voters to know about you and your campaign, of what you'd like to see accomplished or what you stand for as potential mayor of City of Bloomfield?
Sure. Public safety. I did 28 years plus in public safety, so I support police, fire, EMS. That's what keeps us safe. The fire and EMS, as you age, like I do, my parents are, I want to make sure somebody's there to respond and take care of their health needs as needed. If there is any crime, I want our police department to be fully staffed, which they're doing great right now. So, and have some kind of response to protect us, right?
Right.
One of the biggest issues with Bloomfield, I think, is voter turnout. So I think we have, I don't know the exact numbers, but in the neighborhood of 3,000 registered voters in town. On average, just over 500 show up to vote for every local election. And the local elections is where it really matters. Everybody that is registered, get out and vote, speak your mind. Otherwise, then just the 500 people that are the loudest are going to come vote, and then you won't have a say. Which leads to some of the complaints that we aren't addressing the needs, but that only those 500 people vote. If there is change wanted, if you haven't been satisfied with the last 8 years, which, don't get me wrong, me and Cynthia are friends, and I like her, she's done a great job, but I want to bump it up a level and do more. If the public wants change, get out and vote.
Fair enough, fair enough. And for folks who maybe would like to talk to you more about some issues that I haven't asked you about today, or learn more about you and your campaign, how can they do that?
So I have a Facebook page, John Mohler for Mayor. Feel free to send me any messages there, ask questions. I'm trying to post as much as I can, local information, supporting local businesses, local events, things of that nature. But also trying to get out that message. Local voting matters. And I hope, if elected, to be more transparent, to have more information out there for the city, the citizens, everybody to know what's going on and help understand what it is local government can and cannot do. I think there's some misconceptions with that we as politicians do not get that information out there.
Right. Gotcha. So Facebook probably the best way to learn more about you and to reach out?
Absolutely. That would be the best thing for right now.
Okay.
Reach out to me. I don't mind. I'll go sit down and have coffee with somebody if they want, and discuss with a group. If somebody wants to invite me, reach me on there, and we'll arrange something for sure.
Okay. Fair enough. Very good. John Mohler, thank you for coming in to sit with me and talk about the campaign and your efforts to be mayor of Bloomfield. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the invite. I appreciate your time.
You're very welcome. That's John Mohler. He's running for mayor of Bloomfield, my guest here on KSJE. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.